Hello and welcome to Speedtalks, the podcast where we dive into everything tech in the financial industry. I'm Michael, and today we're going to talk about the crucial topic of collaborating with a software house. We will explore 10 key aspects you need to consider before entering into a partnership with a software and IT services vendor. We have all heard tragic stories of projects that just didn't end up in a success. Often the reasons behind that are a result of just the lack of fit between the parties. So this episode should be specifically interesting for you if you're looking for a new partner when it comes to software and IT services, or if you already have a partner and potentially are reconsidering if it's the right fit. Here are 10 key aspects and tips that we have prepared based on our experience that you should consider in order to make this relationship successful. So without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy the meat of that episode. The first aspect related to working with a software house is about recommendations, reviews, and references. This is something you can do partially even before you reach out to a company. So when you prepare a long list or a short list of potential partners, you should verify their credibility in the space you're looking for. And if you are in touch with them already, do verify if the recommendations and cases they are using are real, because everyone can fake everything nowadays. And trust me, there's so much business done on selling reviews that you wouldn't even imagine. So do ask for references. Check out the reviews on, Clutch, G2, ask around on LinkedIn, reach out to current customers, ask them for introductions with current customers or referent customers, see whether people you know have worked with them in the past, or see who have they worked with in the past and try to get in touch with them so that they can tell you more about the partnership with that agency. And again, website and reviews can say one thing, but the reality can be different. So do find more information about the potential partner from different sources in order to make sure that you're speaking with the right partner in the first place. The second aspect is, do they have experience in your business domain? Have they worked with a similar client before? Vertical experience, domain understanding. If you're a bank, do they work with banks? If you're a hospital, do they understand the medical industry? And so on and so forth. Do they know the challenges? Have they solved a similar problem before? Here again, case studies and portfolio can be useful. But basically the premise is that you don't want them to be learning on your expense. Whether it's the domain, whether it's the technology, you want to partner up with someone who has done similar projects in the past. Because chances are that if they have done similar projects in the past, they already have the knowledge and experience that you can just tap into and straight away benefit. There just won't be reinventing the wheel. So the bottom line here is look for someone who specializes in cases, clients, and projects like yours. This just increases the chances of success overall very much. The third aspect is technical expertise. Are they proficient in the programming languages, frameworks, and tools relevant to your project? Do they demonstrate a track record of success, innovation, creativity in their solutions, leveraging that particular tech stack that you're after? Do they truly have developers with the needed skills, or will they be just sourcing them once they go to your business? Was the seniority of people working on your project? Will you have seniors? Will you have juniors in the team? These are all very important aspects. I would even suggest going a level deeper. If they say they are proficient in Java, then ask for frameworks, ask for blind CVs, ask for technical interviews with their, let's say, core architects or experts with specific skills in the domain or with the technology that you're looking for. How many people do they have? What's their capacity of attracting and retaining more talent? Assess whether their senior guy is really senior. Often companies tend to call people seniors as soon as they hit 5 years of experience. But in fact, are these what you're looking for? Who you want is someone who will be accountable, who will have the ownership of the project, who will be challenging the status quo, who will be brave enough or, let's say, experienced and competent enough to say why they are suggesting stuff or specific alternatives, who will be able to suggest a better alternative to the one that you come up to the table with. So that's what I mean by seniority. And please do check if you're not in a situation where you're speaking with the senior guys in the first meetings or during the pre-sale process, but actually during the project you end up working with juniors. So do make sure who will exactly be in your team and are they actually having the desired level of technical expertise. The fourth aspect is scalability and resources. So while we talk about developers, you should consider the agency's capacity to scale resources and meet the demand of your project. Do they have a sufficient number of developers, designers, other skill, you name it, other team members to allocate to your projects? Are they able to accommodate, sudden spikes in workloads or changes in the project scope? Some agencies offer tap on, tap off, scaling up and down to the extent that basically provides you this flexibility. How flexible they are, that's what should be asked in the first place. And again, moving down the road, how do they attract and retain talent? What's their attrition rate? Some of the big players out there have the struggle with the attrition of, 20, 30%. That means if you have a team of 10 after 3 years, there's going to be no one in the team who started working on that project back 3 years ago. So you want to partner with someone who not only has this ease of bringing relevant people to your team, but also attracting them in the long run. Again, scale here is a very important factor. You don't want a partner that's going to be too big for you. So if you want to buy a team or partner up with a team that's going to be around 10 people or maybe 2 teams of 8, you don't want a partner who's got 10,000 people on board. They're going to be too big for you. You're going to be too small of a customer for them. And again, if you want to hire 100 people, you don't want to work with a company who's got 200 people in total. You're going to be too big for them. So both parties need to be aligned in scale and organizationally, and there's basically various consequences of that alignment and the lack of it. The fifth aspect is the project management approach. You should ask, what is the agency's project management methodology and processes in place? How do they plan, execute, and monitor projects? How will you know that you're on top of the situation and on top of the risks? Are they flexible enough to adapt to changes in requirements and timelines, should there be any? Do they provide regular progress updates, burn down charts, whatever? Are they transparently communicating? Do they have channels to keep you informed in the loop? The key here is, will you have to manage everything, or will they handle it A to Z? And perhaps you already have your own delivery approach or a mindset in place. Then you should ask, how capable are they of adopting it? You need to be aligned here too. So that's a very important aspect. Number 6 is related to pricing. It's obvious, it's important, but I wouldn't say it's the most important fact. But you should definitely ask, what models of collaboration do they prefer? Do they offer, time and materials model? Do they offer a fixed price cooperation? Is the company transparent with the pricing? What is the rate card? Are there any hidden costs? If you compare prices, you should definitely not take a look at the extremely low and the extremely high. Often it's just fishy. Some companies go for giving you one price and then quickly reducing it, or some catfishy promising low prices and only then to increase the cost just after signing the deal. The key aspect here from my perspective is, can you afford buying cheap? Cost should be the driver, but it should not be the most important driver. I always use this example here of 3 most important aspects of each project that you should consider, which is quality, speed, and cost. And in reality, you can, at every given time, choose 2 of them only. So if you go for quality and speed, it's going to cost you more. If you go for cost and speed, in the first place, it's going to cost you quality. If you go for quality and cost, it's going to cost you on speed, and so on and so forth. So my recommendation here would be to go for value for money. I would not buy the cheapest. I would not buy the most expensive one. I would look for someone who is, let's say, just the right fit. And I would remember that sometimes you need to accept that the best things cost more than the average things. So that would be my recommendation here for sure. Aspect number 7 is related to financial stability. It's not so obvious, but really worth checking, especially if you don't want to start a project and hear that your provider is declaring bankruptcy after 3 months. So basically the question is, are they credible enough that they are not going to disappear overnight? Ask for proof, ask for paperwork, ask for EBITDA from the last years, ask for results from the last years, everything that will help you understand if they are credible and stable as a business. Number 8 is related to the legal aspects of the cooperation. So do check the contract and master service agreement carefully. Are the terms and conditions clearly outlined and fair to both parties? Are there any clauses related to intellectual property rights, confidentiality, or termination that would require special attention? Is there suddenly something weird in the contract that you just didn't discuss beforehand? I understand from my experience, every lawyer in the process extends the negotiating process by weeks. Yet again, it comes down to some sort of flexibility, I guess. Do remember that contracts are for the bad times. And I suggest approaching it from this different, perhaps interesting perspective. I would personally look for a partner that would go beyond the contract and the Jira backlog and provide more value that would be expected from them. So the contract is one thing, but you should be looking for someone who will be willing to go the extra mile outside the contract clauses to make sure that your project will be delivered. Number 9, the culture. Definitely you need to have a good synergy and act like partners to have a good relationship and collaboration on a project. So the software agency should be considered, because they are an extension of your company. So there just needs to be a good fit between you guys. If you're annoyed every time you talk to them during the negotiations or meetings or workshops, it's just not going to work. If it's bad at the very beginning, it's going to be bad down the road as well. You for sure, as a company, have your own values. So are these values aligned? You need to feel like they are a partner next door, like they sit in the next room. They should be, you should have this feeling that they are a part of your company, that you're in this together. And this is something you just, have a feeling about it. You gut feel that if it clicks or not. And last but not least, the aspect number 10 is related to communication. You should see whether the agency is responsive, whether they communicate clearly. Do you need to constantly ask the same questions over and over again because you're not getting the answer? It may seem small, but it's a huge teller in regards to how the collaboration is going to look in the future. So again, you can basically smell that from day one. And again, it's all about, from my perspective, transparency and open communication. So you should look for someone who will tell you if they cannot do something. You don't want over-promising and under-delivering in the first place. You don't want shoveling problems and challenges under the carpet. You want to know, so they need to tell you. You need transparency, even if the truth is hard to hear. Can your partner do that? That's the ultimate question here. And that's it, guys. Wrapping things up, the 10 most important aspects related to the question you should ask to a software house before you start cooperating with them are related to, firstly, recommendations, reviews, references, then experience in your business domain, then the technical expertise, then the scalability and resources, then the project management approach, then pricing, financial stability, contractual agreements, culture, and communication. Thank you for joining us in this episode of Speedtalks. We hope that these 10 key aspects to consider before collaborating with a software house will help you make more informed decisions regarding your future partnerships and will help you just find the ideal tech partner for your projects. I would consider choosing the right partner as an investment in your project success. The more resources, time, effort you put into it, the more will you take out in the future. If you have any questions or would like to share your experiences, feel free to reach out. If you'd like to have another topic covered in one of the future episodes, do let us know. So until next time, and take care and stay tuned for more insightful discussions in the future. Bye.